Hello and welcome to this video on choosing or calculating the correct front derailleurs on your bike. Basically try and save hours trying to find out the information what I was trying to find out, and hopefully it will all be in one nice concise place. So as everyone skips past this sort of thing, I'll keep it really short. I didn't really find any one video or article which described how to do this, so I've tried putting it all into this one video. So everything you'll need to know is covered here, from the parts of the bike to the mounting types, the cable route types, the chain rings, chain teeth, number of chain rings, the chainstay angle, and the action type. And at the end of this video I'll give you a quick worked example on my old vintage mountain bike. Some of the tools that you're going to need would be vernier calipers, which is in the background image, a protractor, and finally something to write it on. So let's get started and save yourself a bit of time. If you're going to be replacing an original part, in all likelihood it will probably be behind the front derailleur anyway, so if you find a model number, just have a look and type it in onto the internet, and you should be able to find all of those different things that we saw in the previous slide, and then head over to this Shimano webpage and then you can just choose it from the list, and we'll go through that at the very end. So different parts of the bike that I guess you would care about. We are going to be wanting to know about the seat tube. We also want to know about the chainstay and how many chain rings there are, so on both the front and the rear. So this is the derailleur right here, this little thing here, and this is the rear derailleur on the back. So first we're going to go and have a look at mount types. So there's three types of mount types in general. You've got the clamp band, which is actually on my bike, and then you've got the E-type and the direct mount. Let's just go and cover them all now. So the clamp band fits onto the seat tube, and there's a little ring that it works around. It's available in three different widths, just noted here, and what you can do is use the vernier calipers to measure the diameter of the width. These widths are all in diameters, and some front derailleurs come with attachments to convert them down from the largest to the smallest, so they're quite I guess generic, and pretty much one derailleur will fit all of them. The next one, I've never seen this before, but as part of my research I found that you've got an E-type, so it's looking at this bit just here, and you want to, it would mount at the bottom of your derailleur. Finally, just for completeness, you've got direct mount, which fits the top of your derailleur, and again I've marked it just there. Cable route type. So there's two main types, and there's a couple of other types, but I'm only really going to cover the main ones. So that's top pull and bottom pull. These days actually it doesn't really matter too much, because quite a lot of derailleurs have dual pull, so it means it will be able to cater for both top pull and bottom pull. So what is top pull and bottom pull? So top pull is quite literally the cable route comes down from the top and feeds the derailleur. And you guessed it, what does bottom pull then mean? And bottom pull means that the cable comes down from underneath and then up around the crank and up to feed the derailleur. And that's it. And what does side spring mean? Side spring, the cable comes here and then it feeds the bike around here. This is actually apparently much more efficient than the top and bottom pull, and it's found in more modern bikes. And then the final one is the electronic pull, which it just uses like electronic signals to be able to pull the derailleur. And the next thing you want to check is chain rings. So this bike here has got 3 chain rings at the front, and then on the back you also want to count the amount of rings that you've got. It's probably going to be 6 or 7 on this one. Chain teeth. So this one's a bit of a boring one, I'm afraid. You've got to count each one of these teeth, it's probably easier to show you the smaller ones, but you'd want to count the top chain, i.e. the hardest gear, or the third one, and generally they're going to have either 42 teeth or 48 teeth, I believe. And you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you keep going around until you find the amount of chain teeth on the largest crank. The penultimate thing to check would be the chainstay angle. So that is the angle between the seat tube and the chainstay. And in order to do this easily, you might just want to remove the crank arm just so you can get the protractor in, or if you're using some other funky tool, it might just be easier to use that. And once you've got that angle, it's usually around, I think, 65 degrees or to 67, and then you just write that down. And finally, you've got swing types. So this, in general, for at least the first two examples, looks at how does the derailleur sit on the seat tube. And this can be kind of forgiving, because if the seat tube is massive, and let's say, for example, that you find a top swing one that costs you double the amount that the downswing uses, then you just can go for the cheaper one. But really, I guess the top swing is really meant for mountain bikes which don't have a lot of space to fit the derailleur on the seat tube. In the example that I'm going to use later, it just won't matter, because the seat tube is just empty from all the way from the bottom up. But generally, it's basically where does the derailleur clamp onto the bike. So this here, it would sit on the seat tube relatively low down, whereas on the top swing you'd be mounting it quite above the crank, I guess. And if you looked at the bike that I was using as an example, I'm pretty sure that uses the downswing. And then finally, you've got the side swing, and but remember, that's actually, I guess, mounted into the bike a different way. So now you've got absolutely everything you need. This is an example for Shimano, because let's face it, they do so many different types of derailleurs that you're pretty much guaranteed to find a derailleur of your needs on that website. Head onto that link, and then go down and work through all the different models until you find something that matches the information that we've pulled. And before you stop the video, one piece of advice: do not remove this sticker. So if you've never done this before, this sticker will help you align your derailleur exactly where it needs to be. So you can see these little lines here, those are the chain teeth, and you want to put the derailleur in such a position that the chain teeth are just within those two red dots. This video won't be showing you how to fit it. Go on to another video, there's a bunch of good YouTubers who've got that information. So that's it, but if you want to continue watching, I'm about to show you a worked example. So we're going to use a live work example. This is a really old vintage bike, but it will serve a perfect purpose of a demonstration. So first we're going to have a look at the mount type, and this one is pretty obvious. It's a clamp band. Why? Because we can see the clamp. So the first measurement that we want to do is get your calipers and then just measure the diameter of this, and that is going to be 28.98, so we know that's 29, and then just write that down. So we write clamp and 29, and then the cable pull is the next thing that we want to look at, and that's just basically the root type of the cable. Now I know that this derailleur comes all the way down here, therefore it should be a bottom pull, because the cable is coming up through the bottom, and if I was to pull this, it's a bit too hard actually to pull it, but that should have moved that if there's enough strength. So we just write bottom. The next one is looking at chain rings, so we can count 1 chain ring, 2 chain rings, 3 chain rings at the front. So we just write down 3, and then at the back it will be 7. So we just count all the chain rings at the back, and that is 7. Next, we've got to count the chain teeth, and I'm just going to pause the video for now. And through counting all of these teeth, you would count, well, on this one it's 48. Now we need to measure the chainstay angle. So we've got to measure the angle between the seat tube and the chainstay. This is the rubbishest, I guess, protractor ever. So it might be a little bit difficult me looking, but it may actually be easier me sort of trying to do it from the back, as it's likely to be the same angle. And I make that about 69.70. And then finally, we only have to look at the action type, or the swing type, should you say, and we can see that the clamp is above the derailleur. So I'm going to actually say that this is a downswing type, but I actually don't need to worry too much about that, because there's so much space on the seat tube that I could choose if I wanted to a top swing or a downswing. It wouldn't actually matter, but for this purpose it is actually a downswing. So now I've got everything I need. I can now go into the internet and get myself a new derailleur. Of course, if I wanted to save myself a lot of time, what I'd have actually done is you could look at the back of this, and you should find on the back of the derailleur the make and model, or at least the model of it. If you were to put that onto YouTube, you would have got what you needed. So now we got onto the Shimano website that I've added on the link, and now we want to try and choose our derailleur. So I know that this bike is quite an old rubbishy bike, so we're not going to be at the top of this. Let's go right almost down to the bottom and see what we go from there. So here we've now got the speeds, which is 3 on the front set of gears, and then 7 on the back. That works. So do you remember I said about the root type, how you've got top pull exclusive or down pull, or this dual pull? That works quite well. This is also a clamp band as well, and it does, well, 28.6 was the closest one that I had, because mine was 29. So that works for me as well. And chain teeth is now the next one that we want to see. So that says 42 teeth. Well, that one won't work. So now we've got to go to the 48 teeth. Now, the next bit as well is the chainstay angle. So my one I actually worked out was 69 degrees. So here is now where I'm looking almost at this one here. Actually, it would be this one, because it's got the 48 teeth, it's got the 69, it's got the dual pull, it's got the clamp band as well, and it does the 7 and the 6. Now it's just a matter of me trying to find out what the action type is, whether it's top swing or down swing. So this one is this one actually says top swing, so that's not the one I wanted, but as I said, it would work. So if I just click on that, that's going to be pretty similar to what I want. However, as I said, that one's got the top swing, so let's try that again. 387 does the clamp band, does the dual pull. I want the 66 to 69 top gear teeth. This one doesn't really matter if it's 42 or 48. That one works for me fine as well. The chainstay angle's correct. The action type is downswing, as we found. So actually, this one would do me well as well. I believe this one's ever so slightly more expensive. So I think if I was to try and go in this case, I'd see if I can stick to the Shimano Tourney if I can get away with it. So yeah, that is how you go and find your compatible derailleur. So that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it informative. If you did like the video, please hit a thumbs up and a like.
And thank you for watching.